Oh, my homosexuals, if I could just explain to you the feelings that I'm feeling today, mainly physically. I am dragged through the mud, absolutely thunderblown the grundle once again. In all seriousness, I am so tired. This was one of the hardest workouts I've had in a minute because changes needed to happen today. Clean and jerks went pretty well. Getting toward the end of the workout, I kind of mentioned it the other day, without the squatting, my core strength is just going to be down in general. It's unfortunate, but that's just kind of how it's going to be for a little bit. So I'm having to put in a lot more effort when it comes to my technique and bracing my core when I catch any sort of weight, which on its own is not a bad thing. It's always good to have a little bit of back and forth training so that you can, get a little bit of a different kind of mind-muscle connection, build some more core confidence so that you can really understand how your body's going to react to certain styles of training. This is why I say you can't, even if it's going to be easy, you can't just jump into a random program and expect it to go the exact way you want it to, even if you've done it before or if you feel like you're confident in those lifts. Any style of conditioning that's different from what you're currently doing is going to hurt for at least a day. It's just, you got to get used to that different kind of exertion, the effort needed to complete that with maximum effort, that increase in passion, you know what I'm saying? But either way, felt good. The first couple of working sets, not great. My core was not working with me, and it was really hard to get under the bar. But that last set was pretty decent, especially the last rep I'm very happy with. But it's just, it happens. It's just something to work on next time. Gives me even more room to grow. The main issue I was having was with the lack of core and especially low back strength. I've realized, I got the majority of my core and low back strength, my trunk, from my squats, because I do 2 back squat days, 1 front squat day, and 1 overhead squat day every single week. So not having that in my program has been not detrimental by any means, but really, really tough, as to be expected. It's just, that's life sometimes, you got to embrace a different kind of shit so that you can grow into your next level, I guess. But the main issue I was having was not as much of a whip as I needed to get under the bar. And on top of that, anytime your core is not at a peak when it comes to Olympic lifting, it is going to be really hard for you to have a solid dip and drive with the split jerk where your hips stay fully aligned as if you were doing a normal squat motion, because that will give you the most vertical upward momentum. And so any lean forward or any lack of confidence that cuts the push up in half, kind of like if you were cut your pull before you got to your hips on the way up. Same thing, you can cut the pull when you start coming back up from the dip and drive, So I was not as locked in when it came to that, just because my core was dying. But I had all good lockouts, I think. Maybe one slightly whiffed, but I don't even remember. It was a short one, and then I fixed it right away, kind of thing. So I'm happy with it. And I brought it back. We are getting better. And again, the months and months of rehab I've been doing for my knee makes sense that I am very tired, getting back in the cycle for the first time in a while. Okay, what else? So I am starting to implement a little bit more volume in my squats because of what exactly I just told you. It's time to take a risk so that I can truly see where I'm at. That's just how it is, My knee has been on top of the world recently. I've never felt this good. I wake up with no pain pretty much every day now. It's still more sore on my left than my right, which that's just going to take months and months and months to really train through and get that strength back. That's normal. But doing the isometrics for my quads has been the most help I've gotten so that I can make up for that lack of strength in my knee tendon, or quad tendon, whatever you want to call it. But the front squats did feel good. I got to keep working on my walkout so my feet get lined up, because the compensation for the lack of strength on my left, mixed with not practicing squats as often overall, or at least not with anything heavy, has made it to where I'm a bit cold, as you could imagine. But it's working. It's getting there, and I do think at the very least, my last 2 sets I remember being very, very nice. No pain, just was able to drive through it pretty well. And just, again, I gotta treat my knee like it's an infant right now. It's just, I'm learning the basics again. That's just how it is sometimes. You got to really relish in how far back you can be pushed just so that you can come back even harder, you know? That's the whole idea. So the way I'm going to do it is every week is the goal. I'm not going to push it because I really want to stay healthy. But I've been feeling good, and you know, we'll see tomorrow. I'll wake up and I'll see where my knee's at. Well, you know, that'll be a bigger tell, especially in tomorrow's workout, because I have back squat tomorrow after some power snatches. So that'll really be the biggest tell of like, where am I at, you know? But it feels good for now. So if it keeps feeling good, I'll increase 5% every week. Right now, I worked at 50% today of my max, doing 4x6 like I would typically do in the program. I'm just taking the percentages down so I can work it back up slowly. And the idea is that this, you know, this initial risk may blossom into what I can work up to later on, so that next cycle I can get back on squats without any kickback, you know? So the idea is that I'll end on my very, very last week of training doing 4 sets of 2 at 80% rather than 90%. So if that works well, then great, you know? You never know how it's going to go, so I got to at least give it that effort. And otherwise, clean pulls felt pretty good. Again, core wasn't as locked in as I wanted to, but I had some pretty good whip. I had some good pull. It's always nice having people watch me, and they're just like, that's a nice deadlift. Whoa! Because the whip, people never expect. I had some guy thought that I was going to clean it, and I'm like, just give it a couple weeks, man. Give it a couple months. I'm going to fucking do it. I promise you. I need some time to build it up. But it's cool. You know, it's working, and I'm happy for it. So, physically, I'll give today, what can we give it? Honestly, I have to give it an 8.15. Very good score, you know? Not in the 7s. That's more of like a very like bleh, like kind of we got through it kind of day. But you know, all in all, with all the struggle and the lack of core strength and the stamina, whatever, I really pushed through the way that I wanted to, you know? Gave it that 100% regardless of the weight that was on the bar, just embracing the effort that I could put in today, you know? Mentally, it's kind of up in the air. I'm not gonna let it take me down like I did last time. Trust me, I've been through it to where I'm gonna jump right back at the next thing I can do if it ends up failing. But I don't know where my knee's gonna be at tomorrow. You know, it feels good now, but I did put more weight on it than I'm used to, and that's the risk. That's the jump I gotta take to see where my body is gonna be in the future. You know, because I can't just constantly keep going back and forth saying, oh, I'm just going to do warm-up weights for the rest of my life, and then maybe one day I'll squat 500. It's like, that's not how it fucking works, man. You know, you got to give it that little bit of growth exponentially to have that consistency that leads to the discipline, that leads to the passion. I'm always fucking telling you this shit. But either way, I'm proud of myself. It's a great thing to be able to push past the phantom knee pain or doubt in what might happen because of past experiences, because you really do just have to try. You know, these injuries are random in the way that you recover through them because everybody's different. That's just the way it is. As great as everybody being unique is, and I love getting to meet new people and see the perspectives of each individual that I get to run across. Oh man, I wish there was a straight cut way of just getting through this kind of thing, but there's not. It is just a matter of, am I going to remain consistent, disciplined, and passionate, or am I going to sink in the mud and just eat shit and leave you guys alone? Like, you guys don't want me to stop shooting shit with you guys, right? I at least like shooting the shit with you guys. It's a lot of fun. But I got to keep giving it that maximum effort so that I can create the best potential for myself. So mentally, I'll give it a nice 8.4, you know? Pretty damn decent. Fun homosexual times today as well. It was good to see all the homies as normal. We're making plans to hang out. I love it. But, you know, it's really, really important that you recognize what this risk can mean for yourself. you know? Because I'm not just doing this to say fuck it like I did before. I'm bored of doing lightweight. I'm pissed off. I'm not making as much progress that I want to see. I'm going to hit something heavy for no fucking reason and get injured again, you know? Because that's where I was headed. I was in a worse mindset about it until more recently. Because, you know, that's where the effort comes from. It lets you bounce back from your own negative mindset. But you got to really tell yourself that it's fine. You know, it truly is okay. You're gonna fail. That's just inevitable. But you got to go into it at least giving yourself as much benefit of the doubt, as much credit, as much effort, passion, whatever you want to fucking call it, so that you can try these new things and see where they lead you. You know, because you genuinely can never know how your body's going to react to any style of training or any difference in your daily schedule. You know, just anything you want to try that you've been afraid of touching on because maybe a bad past experience or just something that you're not used to and you're not comfortable with. That's the point of life. God damn it. You got to try new shit to find out who you are. You know, finding purpose in life isn't just having one crazy cool talent and really successful career with a lot of money. No, God damn it. It's trying every fucking thing that you can with as much life and soul that you can give that extracurricular activity, whatever you want to call it. It's, you know, that it's risky every time. That first step is always terrifying to take, of course. But God damn it, that's what makes life. It's ambiguous. You got to run with the mystery and have fun with it, you know, because the less afraid you get of embracing these potential risks that could have great reward for your personality and your just daily happiness, the more you're going to be able to progress later on in life, whether that's tomorrow, a month from now, or 10 years from now. Who fucking knows? But I mean, look at me with this. I got two things, you know, on top of all this training or whatever. Let's look at my personal life. I just got the job at the hospital. That's wonderful. But the shifts are really hard. You know, it's a new career I've never touched on. I don't know how I'm going to do. But at least I should try. Because who knows? I might be a therapist there in 10 years. I don't fucking know. But it's the effort that I put in that allows it to accumulate over time. Not just with the job, but with the people. You know, the perspectives that you get to intake along the way, because they made the same risk. You know, nobody got to where they went by just doing whatever somebody else did before them. And if they did, then fucking that sucks. In my opinion, you know, if you're happy, whatever, run it. But if you're just sitting there being a fucking robot and doing whatever you saw that you were supposed to do or what people expect you to think life was going to be, run whatever the fuck you want to, man. Like, seriously. But on top of that, got rejected as a personal trainer. Who would have thought that I would get hired as a person in the hospital, a technician, with no experience, with a decent pay, and I'd get rejected as a personal fucking trainer when I've been doing that for 3 years straight and am one of the most confident things in my life that I do. Everybody I talk to tell me that I should train and I should help people out with that. And I got rejected. But instead of looking at that as a bad thing, it's just, oh, well, that just opens up the whole new pathway of potential risk that could be so cool for my future, you know? Because, of course, any risk you take might suck in a certain way, but whatever negative connotations you're going to make about it, you can just as much build some positives on top of it. You know, it's a mindset to be positive. You got to, you literally just kind of have to force it and live by it, believe in it, and have faith in it until you finally have that consistency and that track record built up to where you're like, I guess everything is going to be okay. You know, don't get me wrong. I'm not fucking perfect. It took me a long time to get to this point. A lot of shit. But again, I am grateful, highly, for that shit. Because I wouldn't have the people I have today, and I wouldn't be the me that you see right here, you know? I'm just a homosexual kind of guy. And I would not change a thing, you know? It's not the trauma and the fucked up experiences that you go through because of those risks that you take. It's the way that you pick yourself up after, you know, and try to lead a better life through that experience and through those perspectives that you learn along the way, you know? Of course I don't want my knee to be injured. And of course, if that present me knew I was going to get injured, I would have stopped lifting right there so I could come back and do better without getting injured. But that's the way it is, you know? And I wouldn't change a goddamn thing. I wouldn't go back and change it because now this experience, this knowledge holds its weight in gold. You know, I'll never have to worry about these experiences again later on in life, because even if it does happen again, I have a plethora of experience and perspective and knowledge that I've acquired that will make it so much easier to deal with in the future. And not only that, I'll know exactly what it feels like, you know? Anytime anybody's been injured in the past and they train consistently, I guarantee you they know what pain feels like. They know the moment that they feel that little, that's where they decide, okay, let's take a break, let's chill out, and rethink what we got to do from right now. But anyway, let me know how your lifts in your lives have been. You know, I genuinely love hearing about it. It's so cool to see how many of you are making good progress, because, like, on top, you know, it sucks that I'm a little bit stagnant right now. I told you guys, I kind of just have to embrace the fact that I'm the injured guy for a little bit, even if it doesn't look that way. But it's really, it makes me thrive even more being able to see how well you guys do as well. You know, it's cool. So keep letting me know about it. I genuinely love hearing about it, and I appreciate whoever wanted to stick around, hear me yap a bit. But we'll be back tomorrow, as I said. Power snatch and back squat. We'll see how the knee feels, and we'll just go from there. And the worst thing that can happen is the knee feels like shit, and we just go back to doing warm-ups and isometrics only for my squat. Who the fuck cares? I can still lift, motherfucker. So I'm going to keep doing it with as much effort and passion that I can give it, you know, because that's what it's all about. So I appreciate you guys, and I love you. I'll be back tomorrow.